Hello, I'm Marcus V. Calvert, and welcome to Tales Unlimited, the disturbing thought of the day. It started here, went there, it's all over the place, so bear with me. Let's start with what I came up with. I came up with a berserker. Seems perfectly normal, snaps, goes crazy, and becomes faster and stronger. Already tougher, always tougher. Even asleep, even perfectly calm. You hit him with a bus, he's getting up. He's going to go nuts. Then he's going to go dark. And then the muscles vein up, and then the eyes twitch, and then he gets faster, and he's on you, right? Well, okay, that's nice. Then I went deeper. What if the berserker had his eyes ripped out? It's part of some experiments. Like, okay, he's a berserker. He's impressive. But I mean, come on, the guy can't regenerate or anything like that. No, we're not making a Wolverine. All right, fine. A disposable berserker. Like when his luck runs out, his luck runs out. But bear with me. What if the berserker had enhanced senses? Again, we're not making a Wolverine. Fine, fine. But how about sonar? Sonar. Yes. So the guy's just going to go eek, and based on going eek, he can see like a bat, like an evil Batman. Batman, go deeper. So when they're done with him, this berserker, he just talks. He's a talking berserker. He's talking like Deadpool with a smile that doesn't reach his eyes as he's trying to kill you. And he's always talking, and his voice does three things. One, his voice distracts you, of course, because you're not supposed to talk while you're getting the crap killed out of you. I mean, yes, you see Deadpool or Spider-Man. I love when they're done properly in comic books, by the way. It's like watching a barber, an expert barber at work. That's the difference between a good barber and a bad barber. See, a good barber can work and talk at the same time. A bad barber takes an hour and a half to cut one head of hair because he's too busy talking, pausing, doing the phone. No, a good barber, you're done in under a half hour. Hair is exquisitely cut, and you've talked about everything. You feel like you've talked to your shrink for the day, right? That is a good barber. That is a scary berserker. Someone who talks your head off while he's killing like 20 of your minions to get to you. Is like, I'm a real fan of your work. I have to tell you. And maybe you give this berserker one of those Norman Rockwell Leave It to Beaver mentalities, like, golly gee, I'm going to split your head open. Yes, I am. And no one can touch him because he sees everything coming. That's the second thing. The talking is the sonar. As long as he's talking, this blind bastard, well, maybe you don't know he's blind, maybe just wearing sunglasses, sees everything, all directions, boom, boom, boom. But here's the worst part. As he's talking, you get fatigued, you get tired. His voice actually damages the mind a little bit. Maybe to the point where you start forgetting things. It's like an auditory form of Alzheimer's. It's actually rotting your brain as he's talking to you. Oh, you federal witnesses, man, when I'm done with you, you better hope I don't get to you, because even if you do escape, you're going to have bits of your memory gone. How good will your testimony be? The fresher your memories, your more current memories go away first than your long-term ones. So technically, if he tied you down and he just talked to you for an hour and then let you go, you'd be useless on the stand. Oh, that's just evil. Oh, this is how I would have done Batman, by the way. I mean, some argue that Daredevil was inspired by Batman. Some say, no, he wasn't, not at all. I shrug. I note the similarities. I mean, just taking the name Batman, throwing in sonar. Yeah, I'd come up with Daredevil. Maybe with more gadgets. Duh. Because, I mean, all he is a dude with... I'm not going there. Anyway, that's my disturbing thought of the day. Okay, I am Marcus V. Calvert. This is Tales Unlimited. please check out the website, talesunlimited.net. Why would you do this? Well, for the podcast, of course. Disturbing thoughts of the day, every day. And there's also the Battery podcast I recommend. It's based on a very short book, a couple of them right now, more to come. Think 200 writing prompts, a little wisdom on writing. The logic being that if you take 200 prompts, use half of them, and just tailor them to your whims, your strengths, your weaknesses, your specs, your desires to tell stories, right? That maybe you can write a novel someday. But until then, you just spit out short stories and hone in your short game. Because a novel is harder to write than a short story, and a short story is easier to write than a novel. You get me? It's good practice. But also, if you're an evil GM looking for inspiration, or a game designer, a comic book writer, a grizzled novelist who's written way more books than I have, well, hey, take an idea. Who knows? Maybe you can just jump off and do something completely you that will make me go, wow. Feel free. Then there are the short stories. Now, I didn't take Battery to create my short stories. I just had this period in my life where I wrote 180 short stories. And so, I would say to you, these are awesome. Because one of the series is Unheroic, Unlikely Heroes Saving the Day. And the other series is called The Book of Schemes, which is darker. And it's about schemes of varying stripes. Both of them, 25 stories to a book, and worthy. Then when you're selling short story anthologies and you're building up that fan base, someone's possibly going to get in your face and say, write a novel! Like grab you by the lapels, we want to see a novel! I'm like, okay, fine. Well, if you write a bunch of short stories, you may have one lingering, nagging idea for that novel. Mine was Sin City with superpowers. Go there. So I went deeper and deeper, and I came up with the I Villain series. A place so corrupt that heroes stay away. Even before they were practically wiped out, they just stayed away. It's the superhuman crime capital of the world, a floating city. Up above the water is called Uptown. Down below the water is called Downtown. Uptown is like Manhattan Light. Downtown is almost like the hood, almost like Boston. But don't get me wrong, the reputation is actually that it's not really a crime problem there. Wink. We control our image, and if you try to do an expose, you might disappear. And the main character, he moves to the town after 9/11, and he sets up shop as a fixer, and he gets into like world-class mercenary work. He has the best mercs money can buy. He could topple a country. He could end the world if you paid him enough. He wouldn't do it, but he could. And then one night he loses it all, and he's forced to fight crime. And no one thinks he'd last a week. And they don't know his past, or the fact that he realizes, well, the hero's basically extinct. There's a market in the world-saving game. There's actually a way to save the world and make a profit. And I am going to make that happen. Okay, I am Marcus B. Calvert. This is Tales Unlimited. Till next time.